It's early Saturday morning in my garden. It's nice and cool weather. It's high 70s, low 80s right now. And I thought I might get some planting done today. Got some things I bought the other day that I still need to put in the ground. Everything is doing really well right now, especially since the heats have subsided. Decided there are some things I need to move due to all of my neighbors their shade trees. I'm not getting as much sun this year, so some of the things are staying in the shade and they are full sun. They're not getting the 6+ hours of sun that they need, so I'm going to have to move some things around. Not only that, all of the clearance plants that I picked up, I need to put them in the ground also. So that's what I'm going to be doing this morning, along with decorating the front porch for fall. These Tropicanas have been doing nicely since I put them in the ground. They had been in the pond for so long, and now they are actually in soil. So they haven't bloomed for me yet, but I'm hoping that by spring they will be blooming for me. The little red crepe myrtle is still getting lots of little buds and little blooms. Even though we're going into the fall season, they do bloom in the fall, but I'm not getting as many blooms. The little hibiscus, the rose mallows that I got on clearance, they are doing pretty good. They're filling out. They also haven't bloomed yet, but they are doing well. This little hibiscus here, something was chomping on it, and I did put a few little pellets around it, and it's not chomping on it anymore, and I'm actually starting to get some more leaves on it. So we're going to see if it comes back for me. But this one was doing really well, and now I see that it has moved over here and it's chomping on it over here. So I'm thinking that maybe it might be a grasshopper or something. So I'm going to drop a few more granules over here and see what happens. These are some bulbs that I planted last month, and as you can see, they're coming up already. So I can't remember what I planted here. I think these are gladiolas, but gonna wait and see if they actually have enough time to bloom. All the other bulbs are doing what they're supposed to do. But like I said, I think these are gladiolas, so hopefully we'll still have enough warm weather to see if they actually are able to bloom. The coleus is doing really well. It is actually starting to spread. These were an excellent buy from the 99-cent only store. They were tiny little pots. I think they were about 3.5-inch pots. And as you can see, let me see if I can put my hand in here so you can see exactly, they are spreading really well along with the electric coleus. It is also, I mean, these are also in the little pots, and I mean, they're pretty tall now. I'm really starting to think that I should have gotten more of them. This little hibiscus is doing well over here too. It's not getting too much sunlight either. It's in the shade. But my Cape Plumbago, it is actually spreading, but it's not blooming, and it should be blooming still. It was a clearance plant. It did bloom for a couple of weeks, but now it, like I said, I'm getting new growth on it, but I'm not getting the blooms, and I don't see any buds either. So I'm thinking of moving it to a shadier spot. As you can see, the Cape Honeysuckle is doing well though. Also this little miniature sweet pea, it's doing well also. It's starting to spread. I've never grown one before, so I don't know exactly what to expect. I don't like being able to see this hole here, even though you can't see it from the front part of the garden. I still have a few little blooms on there. These little coleus also came from the 99-cent only store, and they are all starting to spread also. They're doing really well. The Cape honeysuckle still has blooms, and I'm getting a few blooms every day. Not only that, it has excellent growth on it. I mean, this was a $6 clearance plant, and it's got a lot of new growth on it, and it's getting more and more every day. This is also a hibiscus that I picked up at Home Depot when they had their sale of flowering shrubs, 3 for $12. This one hasn't actually bloomed yet, but it has put on a lot of growth, and as you can see, it still has new growth on it. It's, like I said, it's growing every day. I'm getting new leaves and everything, but no blooms. This little hibiscus was also one that I bought in that sale, and I'm getting blooms from it every day. Every day I'm getting a bloom on this one. I mean, like I said, it's kind of sad that they only last a day, but it's beautiful just, you know, seeing them. The lantana is starting to spread, and it is gorgeous. I love that pop of yellow in the garden. I can see it all the way from my kitchen window, and it's just beautiful. The same with the salvia. These little petunias were also from the 99-cent only store, and they looked like they were dying, and you know what? I got them in the ground, little fertilizer, and they actually started spreading. So they're doing well also, along with this orange lantana. The lavender, also from the 99-cent only store, and the butterfly bush back here in the back, which was also a clearance plant that was not doing too well. So now it is actually green again. It has no blooms on it right now, but it's doing well. It's actually flourishing. The little echinacea is hanging in there. It was also a clearance plant. It did have blooms. I actually just cut them down the other day. They were dead. So I'm going to see how that does. The geraniums have been blooming all this time. I just cut off all the old heads on them, but they are doing well also. Along with this, salvia is starting to spread, and as you can see, it still has blooms on it, and I'm getting new blooms on this every day too. It is just beautiful. Let me get over here to the end. We have this little gifted plant here that I still don't know what exactly it is, but like I said, it gets these little pink flowers on them that are just so adorable. But it is doing well over here also. And another hibiscus, another rose mallow, which is also doing well as far as foliage is going, but it hasn't bloomed yet either. It was also a clearance plant. And another 99-cent only store lavender, which is also doing well. The red tip photinia has put on some growth over here, but like I said, that one I'm going to just let grow freely until it gets the red tips on its leaves. I want it to pretty much cover this entire area so I don't have to see that back there. These were all succulent cuttings that my girls and I planted down here. When I say my girls, I mean the little ones, the grands and the great nieces. They were cuttings off of my succulents. When they got too overgrown, I cut them all back down, and these were all the cuttings, and we just stuck them in the ground, and as you can see, they have not only rooted, but they've grown, they've spread. They've filled in nicely, but now I'm gonna have to thin those out also. So got a lot to do today, but this is my therapy, this is my release, this is how I relax. And I'm going to find a place to plant this mandevilla It is actually one of my favorites that I just picked up. I think it is beautiful, but it will grow into a vine, so I think I'm going to make a trellis for it to grow on. Right now it's just kind of hanging out underneath my white crepe myrtle, which I absolutely adore this tree. I didn't think I would like the white, but you know what, I actually do. Hopefully I will be able to get most of these in the ground and find a good spot for them. Not to mention all of the other clearance plants that I have over here. I'm not sure if I want to leave them in the hanging baskets or if I want to put them in the ground, but that entire area over there, I am going to bust up the soil, because that soil has always been, well, not always, but for the past 15 years, it is where I've kept all of the play structures for the kids. So that soil over there has been compacted with about 4 inches of treated wood chips on top of professional landscape fabric for over 15 years. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take a hint from the Arizona Department of Agriculture, and I think I'm just going to use a pickaxe and I'm going to bust out certain areas, and I'm going to use the ground as the same way I would do a pot. So what I'm going to do is bust out or chip out little holes that I'm actually just going to add soil into them and put the plants in there. Break up the soil around the outer parts to give it a chance for the roots to actually spread out a little further over time. But I'm not going to try to bust all of this soil up. It is like literally, it is so hard, it is just completely compacted in there. This little cactus here has been waiting patiently for me. I bought it a couple of weeks ago on clearance at Lowe's. I could have waited a little longer, but I didn't know if it would still be there. It was originally $24.99. I did pick it up for $12. It has a little pup on there. You can see the little pup down there, right here. And I'm going to plant it here. It is about the same size of this one here that I picked up a few years ago. When I picked this one up, it was the same size as this small one over here. So I know how big they get. They get huge. So I'm going to give it plenty of room over here, and I will plant the smaller succulents around it. I'm also going to remove all of these wood chips. I'm going to take all of these wood chips out of here, and I am going to eventually fill these in with rock and gravel. It's another basket that I had put together about a month ago. It's doing pretty well. Potato vine and some mums. Trimmed up my succulents the other day. A little deadheading on these. All in all, 92 degrees. I think we're doing pretty good.